This is Dr. Anita with another diamond moment. Diamonds are produced by time, heat, and pressure. The cut, clarity, and size of the diamond will determine its use. The use of the stone adds to its value. What pressure have you been under? What is the cut of your personality? Do you have a clear perspective of who you are? Does that perspective line up with where you want to go? The use of your gifts determine their worth. Now it's time to redefine the previous steps of your process. In that description that I just gave of the description of a diamond in my intro, I want us to begin to focus particularly on those things. Who you are, what your personality is, the way that you interact in life. We've talked previously about haters, about using our time inappropriately, using our time to compare ourselves with others. We've talked about fear, being hindered or held back through fear. We've talked about ways to continue moving forward in our journey. And that's where we are today. The cut, the clarity, the size of the diamond will determine its use. Whether that cut is a pear shape, an emerald shape, or a more traditional shape, the cut of the diamond, the clarity of the stone, the size of that diamond will determine its use. When I ask the question, what's the cut of your personality? I want you to really think about that. What is the cut of your personality? Remember when we talked about the difference between us and them? And it's me. Me. Who am I? Who am I as an individual? What are my peculiarities? What makes me different from the next guy? What makes me an individual? These are the things that we have to clearly evaluate as we move forward in the process of being all that we can be, of becoming everything that we would like to become. So I want us this time to get out a pad, a pencil, some paper, something to jot down your thoughts. And I want you to answer some questions about yourself. When I shared my journey and I shared my life and I told you I got to a place where I knew everyone better than I knew myself. I knew other people better than I knew myself. I could tell you what someone else's favorite color was, but I couldn't tell you what my favorite color was until I began to realize somewhere along the line I lost my uniqueness. I lost myself. So that's where I want us to begin. We can't utilize, cut, clarify, or do anything else with the gifts that we've been given until we evaluate them for ourselves. When we realize, as we've looked at other people and how we're able to see their weaknesses and their fears, and then turn that back around to look at ourselves and to see where our fears are holding us back. When we look at those things, when we evaluate them, when we sit with them, when we sit in the discomfort of where we're missing out in life, that's where the value comes in. That's where using that stone becomes profitable, because now we're able to find out exactly where we need to go, what we need to do to achieve the goals of our lives. So that's what I'd like for us to look at today. The cut, the clarity. Let's look at how you have evaluated your own selves, your gifts, your talents, And I have a lot of questions that I want to ask you because I always tell you, challenge yourself. You can't do anything in anyone else's life. The only life that you can change is your own. So let's look at you and determine what you need to do, where you need to go, how you need to proceed forward in your life in order to accomplish what you'd like to accomplish. Have you evaluated your gifts, or have you compared your gifts to someone else? Once again, you can't do anything with anyone else except yourself. The only life that you can change is your own. But once you make a change in your life, the ripple effect will take over and it will begin to move that change out from just you to others. How do you measure your success? How do you measure your achievements? If the only way that you can measure your success is by comparing yourself to someone else, I'm going to offer you a different perspective. Try to be better than you were yesterday. Try to be better than you were earlier today. Try to do something that you haven't done. The other guy may have already achieved that milestone. But what have you done in your life for yourself today? You don't have to compare yourself with others. They don't come from the same place that you come from. They haven't been given the same talent that you've been given. The only person that it really benefits us to compare ourselves with is our own selves. What motivates you? Are you the type of person that only moves when you're at the end of the deadline? Are you the last one up, the last one in the line? Do you look at your achievement as, well, at least I got here? Look at the way that you are motivated. Are you a self-starter? Does someone have to put a fire underneath you? Do you have to be threatened in order to accomplish your goal? If you're an entrepreneur, that's going to make it kind of tough for you. Entrepreneurs have to be self-motivated. They have to be able to determine their own time, make their own time goals. They have to be able to stick to it. And if that's not your strong point, then you're going to have to put yourself in a position where timeliness is not an issue. Otherwise, you're going to always have an issue. Look at your strengths. Look at your weaknesses and then be honest about them. Do you learn easily, or are you satisfied not knowing? If it doesn't bother you to ask a question and never get an answer to that, it shows you an area of your life that possibly you may not need to go into some occupations because you're not curious enough. And if you don't ask why, if you don't find out why, you won't ever be able to move beyond the point that you're in. If you have a difficult time learning, it doesn't mean that you can't accomplish anything in life. It just means that you need to go about it a little differently. Take the time that you need. Slow down. Get what is necessary for you to move forward. I also want to ask you, who are you really? If you could be anything, if you could do anything within human reason, I mean, people have dreams of flying. Well, we know that without an airplane, you're not going to be able to do that. But if you could do anything within human reason, what is it that you would like to do? What would you want to be if you were not limiting yourself? And then ask yourself, does your dream fit your ability? And again, you can dream larger. than what your life is right now. Don't limit your dream to what your reality is, but you might have to alter that destination in order to make your dream possible. What work would you want to do? And I'm using the word work because scripture uses the word work. Work is what and who you automatically are inclined to be versus a job, which is when you hire yourself out for convenience. What do you mean by that, Dr. Anita? Well, you've hired yourself out because it's a way to keep a roof over your head and food in your mouth while you are developing the skills that you need in order to do what you'd like to do. If you are procrastinating, if you're putting it off, as I said before, why are you sitting here until you die? Why don't you get up and give it a go? You may make it. Yes, you may have to alter the way that you do things. Yes, you may have to take into consideration what your limitations are. But does it mean that you can't achieve? Absolutely not. Does it mean that you don't have the opportunity to be all that you can be while someone else did get that chance? No, it does not. But nothing will happen until you make it happen. You can't look at the other guy's plate and determine or come up with a reason why you're not making it in life. You have to get up and do what you need to do for you. As we've said before, some things in life no one can do for you. You will have to do it for yourself. I continue to say, invest in yourself. Take the time to find out who you are. Take the time to find out what your gifts are. Look at your own plate. Measure yourself and challenge yourself to be able to do more than you did yesterday. It doesn't mean that it's the most that you'll ever do in your life. We talked about looking at your legacy. What will you leave behind? What do you show other people about yourself? What is it that you can do to live to your highest and best? Those are the questions that you will have to answer. No one can answer them but you. These are the areas where the difficulties in our lives have produced raw diamonds, and those diamonds have to be processed in order for you to reach your highest and best. Remember, the cut, clarity, and size of the diamond will determine its use. Therefore, you have to evaluate yourself. What is the cut of your personality? Do you have a clear perspective of who you are? Do you measure your success against someone else? Do you compete with others or with yourself? What motivates you? How easily do you learn? Who are you? Does your dream fit your ability, or is it greater than you? If you really applied yourself, what would you want to accomplish? And lastly, are you procrastinating? Thank you for listening, and join me next time as we redefine the previous steps of your process. Never forget, becoming is a process. A process has stages. One small change changes everything. So invest in yourself. Please visit my website at www.DrAnitaMc.com. That's DrAnitaMc.com for links and additional information. And please rate the podcast if you're enjoying it.